Hey there guys, it's TheRamosOnline here, bringing you a quick video, although I say quick, it's probably going to be about 20 minutes, so you know, get some popcorn, that kind of thing. Giving you an overview of the team I brought with me to the VGPC tournament on May the 9th. I actually went on to Showdown and everything was removed. So like a couple of hours ago I was going to record this video. I have no idea why. I didn't clear my cookies, I didn't do anything like that, so I don't know why all my sets were removed. They just were, which means I can't show you the team building process we went up to get to the team you see now, but I can try and remember how I did it. I'll do my best. But yeah, so starting off with the team, I wanted to pick up a Mega, so we just make it a bit bigger there. My Mega ended up being my Gardevoir. I knew I wanted to be Mega Gardevoir when I went into this, so I need to put my... Oh, are you kidding me? I don't know why Showdown likes to do this and change my spreads, but yeah, there we are. That was the set I used on my Gardevoir. So we are modest with 172 HP, 108 defense, 204 special attack, 4 defense, and 20 speed. So the HP and defense allows me to lift things like Talonflame's Brave Bird. Now this spread was given to me by the Razor 456. He's one of the top UK players, I think. He's pretty good, and he's going to nationals, so I guess he does count as a top UK player. This is a spread he uses, so I'm not entirely sure what else the bulk EVs do for the Gardevoir, but it does allow it to survive a lot of hits, surprisingly well actually. Even when getting double targeted, Gardevoir is not a Pokemon that likes to get double targeted, and yet this one can actually get double targeted and live, so pretty decent Gardevoir set. Now the reason for the 4 defense here, instead of putting it into, 4 special defense, instead of putting it into one of the other stats, is because no matter where you put that 4, as you can see, I put way more than 4 in because normally it locks it, but it didn't this time. As you can see, if I remove that 4, I don't lose any HP. I can put that 4 into any stat. I will not gain anything due to how EV spreads work at this level. So the extra 4 into special defense is the only place you can dump that. 20 speed puts you 123, which allows you to outspeed Adamant Bisharp, Adamant Balloon, that kind of thing. Anything that's base 70, max speed, you're going to outspeed it. So that was the spread on Gardevoir. The moves, obviously we went with Hyper Voice because Gardevoir kind of needs Hyper Voice when it's Mega to get the most spread damage. I was thinking about giving it Moonblast as well as Hyper Voice because that single target damage is pretty good. I think Moonblast single target does the same as Hyper Voice spread. So you are still doing a lot of damage and you don't have to worry about being stopped by Wide Guard, that kind of thing. In the end, I settled on Hyper Voice and Psychic as my offensive moves. Psychic instead of Psyshock because I was worried about physically defensive Venusaur. Venusaur pretends to be physically defensive to deal with things like Talonflame, so having Psychic was much better because it meant I could get the Oko or close to it on Venusaurs. I don't think I actually, I did not battle a Mega Venusaur, but I'm pretty sure I would have had I kept going in top 8. I think someone in top 8 had a Venusaur, but yeah. Now, in my third move slot, I originally had Ally Switch, which was good for, you know, tracing good abilities like Volt Absorb, and then swapping with my Staraptor to get the boost. In the end, I did go with Trick Room. Trick Room was originally what I put in the Gardevoir, but then I switched to Ally Switch, then I went back to Trick Room, because I wanted to try Trick Wind, or Tail Room. It's basically Trick Room and Tailwind on the same team. Provides you with 2 different methods of speed control, and they actually work very well together because things that are very slow just work well in both. That's the best I can explain it, really. So my my Tailwind setter was actually my Staraptor with Intimidate, so it gives me an Intimidator, and I wanted to have just 2 Intimidators on a team that weren't typical. Like, you know, they have Intimidate, but they aren't. Like, you know, like Staraptor isn't going to die to an Ice Beam, for example, but Landorus is. Staraptor, pretty bulky, max HP, max speed. I can live a non-stab Ice Beam very easily. I have a Whack and Berry because the only stab super effective moves I already had to worry about was going to be electric type moves, and with the Whack and Berry I actually lived, I think it was Specs Thunderous's Thunderbolt. So if it wasn't Specs, it was heavily invested because I barely lived, but I did live and got up a Tailwind. And no one's going to taunt this, at least not in Swiss, because they don't expect it to have Tailwind. They normally expect it to be Choice Scarf, and everyone's like, oh, I know what this Staraptor is going to do, and then it tailwinds, and they're like, what? What they are expecting is Choice Scarf Final Gambit. Now, I do actually have Final Gambit, but not for the reason, I mean, it can be used to quickly get rid of the threat, but the reason I had Final Gambit was so I could Tailwind and then Final Gambit. What this does is if Staraptor has not been touched the previous turn, it almost guarantees a kill and allows you to bring something in completely safe. All I have to do on its partner is either attack what will be the remaining Pokemon or protect, and boom, I've just got rid of a massive threat and I get something in for free on my second turn of Tailwind, which is great. So that Pokemon will get to abuse 2 turns of Tailwind without taking any damage. So for that reason, I thought it would be much better than U-turn. Close combat was an option, but the only thing I'd really use it on would be Kangaskhan's for the 2 to 3 hit KO, or Tyranitar. But I don't think in the battles where I did face a Kangaskhan that close combat would have helped me in any way. I think Final Gambit was a much better move to have. Brave Bird, because it did massive damage to Ludicolo and Venusaur. Ludicolo, definitely one of the really common Pokemon in this tournament. There was like 2 rain teams that had one. Duncan Knee Deep, Derpanite, as he's known in other areas, actually had a Ludicolo on his team specifically to stop rain teams. He didn't have a rain team, he just had a Ludicolo. So if someone else brought the rain, he just brought Ludicolo and Giga drained everything to death. So, pretty decent strategy. I mean, I didn't think of that, and I really should have. So, props to Duncan there. Now, instead of Protect, I originally had Feather Dance. I could Feather Dance my Manamar, get it to +2. I could Feather Dance anything that was a physical attack, get it to -2. And at the time I had Feather Dance, I also had Milotic on the team. So being able to lower my attack but boost my special attack was pretty decent. But in the end, I had to go Protect just so I can burn more turns of my opponent. Like I can Protect first turn to avoid a Fake Out, to avoid like a double target, and I can focus down something else. And Protect just worked a lot better. Really, I could have also swapped Brave Bird for Feather Dance, or Final Gambit as well, but that would have left me with fewer opportunities to get massive kills or just general damage. Having said that, I don't think I got to use Brave Bird at all. And if I did, it wasn't like a game changer. Really, Final Gambit was the move I used, so I could have replaced Brave Bird. Of course, you don't know this going into a tournament, so yeah. Next up was my Malamar, which was specifically bought. Yep, I can't English today, guys. My Malamar was I brought it to deal with Intimidators. Hey! I could have brought Bishop or Milotic. As I mentioned, I did have Milotic on the team before. But I set it on Malamar because Malamar had Superpower, which means it could continually boost its offensive stats, like attack and defense. So it was like, why not? Also, if anyone had Icy Wind, they'd be boosting my speed. So I was like, well, okay, yeah, Malamar seems like a good choice. The, obviously, contrary, Leftovers was the item I originally gave Malamar. But in the end, before the tournament, and without even testing to see if it was a viable item, I gave it Lumberry. Because in all the testing on Showdown, I kept getting burned by Gengars, and I'm like, well, if I get burned by Gengar on turn 1, that's a problem, but if I can just double target the Gengar on turn 1 with a Lumberry, I'm fine. So I ended up giving it Lumberry. Funnily enough, Lumberry did not matter at all. I didn't get burned at all on Malamar, apart from a friendly match after the tournament ended. So really, Leftovers would have been much better, but you don't know these things when you're going into a tournament. Contrary is obviously the ability you need. Moveset of Knockoff, Superpower, Psycho Cat, and Protect. Knockoff for massive damage, get rid of items. Psycho Cat for stab, also deals with Gengar. Well, it does deal with Gengar, I guess. Venusaur and Conkeldurr. My team isn't really Conkeldurr weak, only Heatran really worries about it, but still it's nice to get that super effective damage off, so people can't be like, well, I can just bring in a Conkeldurr and you can only hit me with neutral superpower and resisted knockoff. The Eevee spread, this one isn't actually my spread either. And again, Staraptor wasn't my spread either, it was just max 252, 252. Malamar's spread was taken from the Nugget Bridge damage calculator. It looked like a decent spread. Max HP, 68 attack, 68 speed, and 120 special defense. That lets you bulk out special hits quite well, and after a superpower or two, you're living almost every physical hit, which is why Leftovers was so good on it, but obviously without a way to protect my team from being burned, without losing my boosts, because I have to switch into Heatran or something, then I'm losing all my boosts, so I gave it Lumberry. what was I saying? I actually lost my train of thought. It was there, and it just shut off, and I was looking over there, and I missed it. I'm not entirely sure what the speed investment is for, but I decided to go with the set anyway, just because it looked like having some speed investment would be of benefit. So if anyone out there who knows speed tiers way better than I do, what does speed 102 speed creep? It feels like it would speed creep Venusaur, maybe? And that's why you'd run that speed, but I'll be honest, I don't actually know. And the attack investment, I guess, is just there so you can get more damage out. It might be better than putting it in a different stat. I'll be honest, there were so many opportunities for me to get, you know, superpowers off that I should have just gone, you know, all into my special defense instead to bulk out this hits better, but I didn't. So the set we ended up going with was obviously 68 into attack, which is on the Nugget Bridge calculator. Next up was Among Us. Again, not really a unique set. Max HP, 188 defense, 68 special defense. I'm living a heat wave. I'm bold, by the way. I'm living a heat wave. I'm bulking out physical hits quite well, and I have effect spore. Funny story. I was meant to be Regenerator with Rocky Helmet. I found, or didn't find, my friend gave me a Regenerator Among Us to breed from, and I bred from it, and I got a 5 IV one, which had everything but speed, so max attack Among Us, just confused damage all over the place, but I didn't have time to breed for another one. I thought, great, you're 5 IV, let's just train you. Got it to 50, fully trained it, realised I had to get it to 62 for it to learn Spore, got it to 62, put it on my team, gave it the Rocky Helmet, did my first test battle, and my opponent hit it and got paralysed, and I immediately realised, you're Effect Spore. I just wasted all that time on an Effect Spore Among Us. I didn't have time to breed another Regenerator one, and I didn't want someone else to give me an Among Us, because I wasn't sure if their spread was the same as mine. So I just stuck a Black Sludge on it, and as you probably saw from the videos I uploaded earlier on, Effect Spore did come into play in I think 1 or 2 battles where I put a Metagross to sleep. So that was pretty handy. That didn't really change the outcome of the battle. I guess it kind of... Nah, it didn't really change the outcome. I was going to die. Facebook... Oh no, I think that's Brandon. I think that's Brandon Aiken. Because I messaged him earlier. We'll keep recording though, because we're professional. No, we're not. By the way, yeah, that reminds me, before we continue, Brandon Aiken, his Charizard, watch out for it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, because now everyone's going to know. I'm sorry, Brandon! I'm not going to tell you guys what his Charizard can do, how about that? Anyway. So that was pretty much my Among Us. We'll give you Drain, Protect, Spore, Rage Powder, nothing really interesting. Black Sludge for recovery, so we can move on to my Heatran Air Balloon. Originally Life Orbed, I ended up giving it an Air Balloon after testing it out and realising that Landorus was a thing, and without the Air Balloon, I really had nothing. Like, I could deal massive damage to it, but if I wasn't able to get up a Trick Room or Tailwind, I was screwed. So I gave it the Air Balloon to force Landorus to do something else for that first turn. And it saved my ass. This was I didn't even test it. I just put Air Balloon on it, got in the cab, and off we went. So I didn't even test it out in battle, and it worked. Ignore Ancient Power. That's not meant to be there. It's Flash Cannon. I did originally have Substitute on it, which would actually have been better in this tournament, but I thought, well, I can switch in on Fairies, but I can't kill them quickly with Heat Wave, so maybe I should put Flash Cannon on. And lo and behold, I don't think I faced a Fairy, and if I did, I killed it quite quickly, and it wasn't actually a danger to my team. Yay! So really, Substitute would have been better, but this was the spread I used. Just max speed, max special attack, 4 into HP. Originally, the set I built on Showdown actually had, I think, 204? Yeah, it had 204 speed, rest, and 2 HP. So again, as you can see, that golden number, 1, 2, 3, that's me outspeed Bishop, Balloon, so I can get damage on them. Balloons, if it thinks I'm a bulky set, it's probably going to go for a Spore. I just go for a, Heat Wave. Then again, I think the Spore Balloon I did end up facing was either Scarved or Jolly. And that was on stream, I believe, so it wasn't actually at the tournament, but if I did ever face a balloon, that was the idea, but I didn't actually get a chance to retrain my Heatran, so I just brought the set which it currently is at, which is max special attack, max speed, and 4 HP. Still was pretty good because 129 still is pretty slow. You know, most of the common threats that are fast are still going to be much faster than this, so in a Trick Room, I'm going to outspeed them. Last but not least, I saved it till last because I knew you guys really want to know what this set is, and props to, I believe, Fred the Tank, one of my mods, and I believe he is going to Nationals. I might be wrong there, and Fred, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. If it's not Fred who gave me this, I'm going to look dumb. I'm going to quickly Alt-Tab to see by going here, clicking search, going to Fred, clicking the thing, scrolling up. Oh, there is a Luxray, so it is indeed Fred the Tank. You see how bad I am with remembering things, guys? I am utterly rubbish at it. Have I have I delayed enough? Have I suspended enough? There we go. That's the set I'm using. Luxray with Intimidate, Citrus Berry for the recovery, Thunderbolt for obviously stab damage with max special attack investment modest, so I can get the 2-hit KO on Suicune, I can get the 1 to 2-hit KO on Politoed, neutral damage on Ludicolo. Surprisingly, I think the Ludicolo I faced at the tournament was Life Orb, so I actually did pretty decent damage with it. Snarl to shut down special attackers as well as getting off to Intimidate, which is really good, because people are like, oh okay, I'm intimidated, I'll just go into my special attacker, Snarl! And Tailwind, so, or Trick Room, so now I get to snarl you again before you even move. Hey! Hidden Power Ice, just so I could deal with super effective damage to Salamence. I could actually hit Landorus for decent damage, and Garchomp as well. I don't think it gets the Oko, especially on the bulkier sides of them, like bulkier variants, but it's still decent damage they won't expect, and it gives something else in the back, like maybe Gardevoir to come out and finish it off with the Hyper Voice, and Protect, just so I can stall out extra turns. So the spread is 156 HP, and I can't actually remember. He said it was 4 into defense and 164 HP, but that does not give me the stats I have in game, so I think Fred may have bred it wrong. Either way, I think it's meant to look like that. That's the set he's given me in Skype. 164 HP, but really, I'd go down by 1. Just so I'm taking less damage from things like Burn, that kind of thing. I think it's odd numbers that take less damage from Burn. I could be completely wrong, but and it also gets slightly more recovery from Citrus, like 1 or 2 points, 1 or 3 points. I don't know. I'm an idiot when it comes to this kind of thing. It allows you to survive Earthquake spread damage without intimidating the Landorus or Garchomp, as long as they're not Banded or Life Orb, which is pretty damn decent. It lets me bulk out a lot of hits, really. 88 special defense as well makes me pretty damn bulky. As you guys have seen from the videos I uploaded, that Luxray stuck around for so long in the battles I brought it to. It didn't always pull a lot of weight, but it definitely stuck around and people didn't quite know how to deal with it. And then obviously the max special attack investment, so I get the Oko on Politoads if they aren't invested. If they are invested, it's a 2-hit KO. I think it's an Oko at least. I did deal a lot of damage to a Politoad in one of those battles, and I'm going to assume it wasn't heavily invested. Just massive damage all around, and as you guys saw, that Snarl completely shut down a Rain team, which is the thing I was most scared of. So that is the team I brought with me to VGPC, or Video Game Premier Challenge Omega Round 3? I don't know, something like that. Had a lot of fun with this team. Just a lot of fun, I don't know what else to say really. Very interesting team. I loved it. And now you guys know what the team is. And I've given the secrets that I might not have been meant to give, but I gave them anyway. I'm taking the bullet on this one. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry that is quite unprofessional. Again, my room is... It looks tidy to you guys, but it's like everything's thrown on the bed. That's why it looks tidy. Apart from the giant box, which you finally got rid of. So if you liked the video, thumbs up, favourite, that kind of thing. If you are new to my channel, or you just haven't hit the subscribe button yet, I would very much appreciate it if you could. I fully understand if you don't want to though, because I am a random strange guy on the internet talking about random things, so I might not be your cup of tea. And I do this a lot. I talk about nonsense a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that's going to be. Give me like a month or so, how about that?